I'm Will Madera, I'm Pitbull's front house engineer, and we are here at the UVA Arena in Berlin. And I want to show you how I'm mixing Pitbull's show on the LV1 Classic. Let me take you into my LV1 Classic session and show you how I'm mixing some of the elements that are most important to us in the show. Kick, low end, and of course, the lead vocal. For my kick, I try to get it very punchy and attacky, like to hit hard. On my SSL, which I use on everything, I boost a little bit, like maybe 6 to 7 dBs on my 50, 60, around the 58 to be precise. Then on my high end, I try to get that attacky, clicky sound on it, like kind of like metal, even though it's hip hop, but that's the way I like it to sound, like hip, so we can move the crowd. Then I cut off on my low mids pretty much everything out. Then cut some of the 4K out, like 1 dB, boost it up a little bit on my 5K to get that attack. Then, of course, I compress it just to keep that kick balanced. Then I come into my Buick, very classic EQ, and I try to boost my low ends on the 60, attenuate it like 2. Bandwidth, I always try to keep it like on 2. It depends, I play with it. And then whatever I boosted up on my high end, I kind of cut it out now with my Buick just to make it smooth on the mix and it's not annoying. Then I come in here, which is a bit of a crazy EQ, but it works. As you can see here, I'm boosting again my 60 all the way to 30, right? Then I cut 500 on the middle here just to get that sound of like round and hard, right? And then I kind of gate it a little bit, and then I finish with my EQ4, which is pretty much everything that I use on my channels. This is what I use for my vocal chain. As you can see, I have the SSL channel, which has been part of my mix for at least the last 5-6 years since I started using the LV1. I just tweak a couple things, as you can see, on my high and mids and low. Sometimes I boost it up a little bit just to give that body. The warmth, the feel it gives me as an analog channel, which I love. Next, I use the BEQ4 too, just to do minimum precise cuts on it. Then the emo is just me being picky for extra frequencies, you know. As you can see, I'm cutting here on 4K, some on the 158, 160, let's say. Then I use my 76, which I love. It's just to control his mix, have it there in the pocket. Then one of my favorite one is the Buick. I cut sometimes on the 100 and attenuate it, and boost sometimes some of the lows just to give that body. And then when I want more clarity, I come here and give him a little bit of 10K and boost it up, maybe to 3, and then attenuate it, sometimes 3 or 4. And this gives me a really clear vocal. Then to finalize it, I go with a CLA-2A just to control any peak that goes out of the mix. And this is my vocal chain, guys. So what I use for effects is the H-Verb. I like to use it a lot on snares, all the instruments, especially on the vocals. So what I have here for the vocals is a 3.96 second, 3.9 on the reverb time, a little bit of pre-delay, and then I EQ it in a certain way where I cut pretty much all the low ends and I cut off some of the high end. I low pass it and high pass it to create a small room on it, on the verb. And then I like to add an imagery to it, just to widen it up a little bit on the mix. And this helps me a lot. The first thing I do to keep my low end tight in big arenas is work on my kick and bass, make sure they are in phase. Then I work in the alignment with the system tech of my subs, making sure they are on time so all my low end can travel together. Very important for shows. Then what I do is I side change my kick to the bass so I can have a more clean and precise impact on the low end. Also, what drives my show and keep consistent low end is my kick and bass throughout the whole show. So sometimes I high pass my tracks to 80, 60, depending on the venue. And that's how I can get a solid low end and clean.
Can you tell us what is your favorite plugin?
My favorite plugin is the SSL channel. Why? Because it brings character and warmth to my mixes. And then I can use it on any channel, like from drums, perk, guitars, vocals, anything, you name it. And I really appreciate that it brings me that analog feel and musical character to it. What I like about the LV1 compared to a traditional console is that I have everything in the box. I have all the tools that I need from the studio, and I can bring it to the live world. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned something today. My name is Will Madera. See you next time.
Back to the base.